I now want to welcome to the podium Brandon Whaley, president of the senior class.
Wait, Brendan, wait. Wait, almost there. You're good.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brandon Whaley, and I have had the honor of serving as your senior class president. Thank you all for being here today as we gather to celebrate and say farewell to the outstanding, beautiful, courageous class of 2025 who are moving on to chase bigger dreams. 4 years ago, we stepped onto this campus not knowing what to expect, especially after the uncertainty that came with COVID. We met each other online with masks on, and for those who started in 8th grade, we met each other online staring at each other from a screen. Despite all the roadblocks that came our way, we made friends who became family. We gave our time and energy to passions like sports, plays, and clubs. We were the brave guinea pigs to go on the now annual Costa Rica trip. We embodied the school spirit and won in class points. We took advantage of great opportunities like studying abroad in Germany, Barcelona, Paris, New York, and many other countries, where we learned about different cultures and languages and even sang our hearts out. We threw the best, most energetic prom that got everyone moving. We were the first distinguished scholar class where we studied our curiosities. The first class since COVID to spend all 4 years on campus. And after we leave, York sports will never be the same. Let's be honest here. But alongside all our long list of amazing achievements came sacrifices. Yes, we failed. Sometimes bombed the test. Cried a river in the bathroom after that test. Forgot an assignment or two or more. Lost a sports game we totally should have won. But we also stayed up late studying for the grade we want and actually got it. We trained hard for our games and won, as our class normally does. We rehearsed for our nerve-wracking performance, and for no surprise, we crushed it and sold out tickets. And of course, we passed all our classes and are now graduating. But at what cost? We missed out on parties, we skipped family gatherings, we sat out on fun moments with friends because we were too busy writing essays or cramming for a test. We traded our time, our social lives, even our peace of minds for a letter on a report card. And sometimes I ask myself, was it worth it? Was the grade really worth it? This question reminded me of a conversation I had with an older man when I was writing this speech, whom I believe we can take a lesson from. If you don't know, I volunteer at Chomp as a patient companion. One day, I met a man who was absolutely brilliant at math. So gifted, in fact, he was offered into a selective special program at NASA, fresh out of high school, to work on Apollo 11, the first spacecraft to land man on the moon. As we spoke, he told me a few things. First, America did in fact land on the moon. Not a conspiracy theory. Second, his father still doesn't believe America went to the moon. But then he told me a secret, a very personal one that I'll never forget. My biggest regret in life was taking that job. I was in disbelief. How could the brains behind the rocket ship that helped Neil Armstrong put the American flag on the moon not feel proud of themselves? Or any sort of happiness? I mean, if I helped build a rocket ship that helped Neil Armstrong land on the moon, I wouldn't stop talking about it. So, as a curious, handsome man, I asked, why were you full of regrets? He said to me, and I'm paraphrasing, that job had me working for nonstop for 7 years straight with barely any time off. I took my job way too seriously. I have no wife, no kids, no close friends. The stress was overwhelming. It put me in and out of the hospital, and that same stress is what let me here recovering from a stroke. If I could restart life, I would have turned down that NASA program. The pain it caused me just wasn't worth it. I wasn't happy. And that conversation really stuck with me. Showed me that you can hold the position, the glorious title, but in the end, none of it will matter if you're not actually living your life. This man, who arguably held one of the most important jobs in U.S. history, was sitting in front of me saying it wasn't worth it. He was warning me, us, telling me to live life to the fullest. He was telling me to take a vacation when I can, to explore life, to live the way I want to live, and do everything he wished he could have done when he was my age, which was to truly live. He made it clear that no job, no title, no accomplishment will ever fully fulfill you if it costs your peace, your health, or your happiness. A famous philosopher by the name of Ferris Bueller once said something so profound that I must share it with you to close out. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. And as we move on in life, head out to college, remember to live a little, laugh loudly, smile more. Enjoy life, because you may only have one. Don't live life full of regrets. Always follow what makes you smile the most. And since I'm the only one up here who can say this, and I'm officially out of here in a couple of minutes, remember, every once in a while, when the time is right, take a Ferris Bueller day off and skip class. Just make sure it's on a beautiful sunny day with your friends. Thank you, and farewell.